Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. The phone buzzed against the nightstand, a faint, unwelcome vibration slicing through the silence. I reached for it, half asleep, expecting another pointless notification. But the glow from the screen froze me mid-breath. It wasn't just any message, it was from her phone. 1:04 a.m. She's occupied now. She'll call you later. The signature below wasn't hers. It was signed with a name I knew all too well. Adrian, her boss. For a moment, the room around me seemed to dissolve. The ticking clock blurred into a distant hum. My pulse thudded like an echo in my throat, and a strange numbness crawled up my arms. I read it again. Then again. She's occupied now. My wife, Emma, was supposed to be in Denver on a 3-day business trip. Corporate strategy review, she'd said. She even kissed me goodbye that morning, laughing about how she'd finally convinced Adrian to approve her project. So why was he texting me from her phone at 1 a.m? I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall. My mind split into two voices, one whispering reason, the other clawing with dread. Maybe her phone got lost. Maybe he found it and was just being weirdly formal. But that line, she's occupied now, felt deliberate. Cruel. I typed back before I could stop myself. Tell her to call me when she's free. No reply. I waited. Minutes bled into half an hour. My thumb hovered over the screen, refreshing the chat every few seconds, as if I could will the 3 gray dots to appear. Nothing. By 2 a.m., my chest felt like it was filled with gravel. I couldn't sit still. The next morning, I told myself I was overreacting. Maybe it was some strange misunderstanding. Emma was ambitious, too ambitious, sometimes, but she wasn't reckless. We'd been married 8 years. She wouldn't do something like that. Still, I called. Once. Twice. Straight to voicemail. By noon, I messaged her assistant, Lauren. Hey, just checking if Emma's meeting wrapped up. Lauren replied almost instantly. Meeting? She's not in Denver today. Adrian said she postponed the trip last minute. Something inside me cracked open. Postponed? I checked the airline app she'd used for booking. The reservation had been cancelled yesterday morning. No notification, no refund notice, just gone. My hands trembled as I opened Find My Phone. The little blue dot appeared. Not in Denver. Not anywhere near an airport. It was in a downtown hotel. Hotel Orem. The same one Adrian had posted about last month when he bragged on LinkedIn about their executive retreat. The city felt colder that day. I didn't remember driving there. I just found myself standing in front of that glass tower, heart hammering, staring up at the glowing windows. The lobby smelled of coffee and expensive carpet polish. Room number? The receptionist asked, her tone polished, impersonal. I lied. Said I was Emma's husband and she'd asked me to pick up something she'd forgotten. Of course, she said, tapping away at her screen. Mrs. Langston's room, 2207. The elevator ride was endless. My reflection in the mirrored walls looked alien, pale, hollow-eyed, jaw tight enough to crack. When the doors opened, I heard laughter. Soft, muffled. A man's voice. Then hers. Every instinct screamed to turn back. But I couldn't. The card slid through the lock, and the green light blinked. The door swung open. And there she was, Emma, wrapped in a hotel robe, her hair tousled, a glass of wine in hand. Adrian stood beside her in nothing but a towel, his grin fading as our eyes met. For a second, no one spoke. Time stopped breathing. Her wine glass slipped from her hand and shattered against the carpet. Daniel, what are you doing here? She whispered. What am I doing here? My voice shook. I should ask you that. Adrian muttered something about giving us space, but I didn't even look at him. I just stared at her, my wife, my partner, the woman I built a life around, standing half-dressed in another man's hotel room. The rest blurred. Words flew like shards, accusations, denials, half-truths. It's not what it looks like, she said at first. Then, when I laughed bitterly, her tone hardened. Fine. Yes, it happened. But it's complicated. Daniel, you haven't been present for months. That hit harder than I expected. Because in some ways, she was right. Work had consumed me. I'd thought I was doing it for us. The late nights, the cancelled plans, the missed anniversaries. But maybe I'd been feeding a ghost version of our marriage while the real one slowly withered. Still, betrayal didn't deserve justification. Was it worth it? I asked. Trading us for him. Tears welled in her eyes. I didn't plan it. I just felt seen again. Her words lodged like splinters in my chest. I wanted to scream, to curse, to leave. But instead, I just stood there, hollowed out. I left the room without another word. The hallway lights buzzed faintly overhead. My reflection in the elevator mirror looked like a stranger. A man who'd lost something he couldn't name. That night, she didn't come home. She texted once, hours later. I'm sorry. I'll come by tomorrow to talk. I stared at the message for a long time before deleting it. The silence that followed was suffocating. Every memory replayed in fragments. Her laugh, her morning coffee habits, the way she used to call me just to say she missed me. They all felt like scenes from someone else's life. Weeks later, divorce papers arrived. Simple. Unemotional. But one detail stood out. Adrian's name listed as her emergency contact. That was when the final thread snapped. I signed my name at the bottom without hesitation. And yet, there was no satisfaction, no righteous victory. Just emptiness. Because betrayal doesn't end with discovery. It lingers, in the quiet moments, in the echoes of what used to be love.